Well, hello, everybody.
Hello.
It's your favorite mother-daughter squad back again. We got another topic today. I know we're running a little late. I said we'd be here at 7:30, but we couldn't really quite make 7:30 happen. And we are at the home base again, but we are inside today because, it's Texas in the summertime, and it's just still really too hot out there.
Well, we have a good topic, and then you'll be glad you waited for us. And if you didn't wait for us, then just call up your homies and tell them we're on. So come on out and see us.
So y'all see why this is my best friend. Talking about call up your homies. I know we probably haven't said the word homies in a whole lot of years, but that's still okay. I guess you can call up your day ones, your friends, your aces, or whatever. But I do want to thank everybody who joined us last time for the live because we were talking about a really serious mental health issue. And we're going to continue talking about mental health issues. But today we're going to talk about balancing it out. How do you do that? And we've got some ideas to share. By no means am I an expert on balance. It's something that I'm a work in progress, still developing myself on how to balance it out. But I got a really good teacher here who helps me on a daily basis try to figure out how to get that balance. And we just want to share some of that with you guys. So, if you're ready, here we go. And we're finally figure out how to work the camera. So this time you won't be thinking there's something wrong with your phone because it's turned the wrong way. It is turned the right way this time. So it'll be much easier to share. I will save this, just in case you're not able to watch it with us live. I will save it. We only have a couple of people on with us right now, but hey, we're here for you.
You can always go back and view it later if you'd like. That's always an option, isn't it?
Yep, always an option. Okay, so let's talk about balance. What does it mean when you say balance? What is balance?
I think balance is being able to do things and not get overwhelmed or stressed out while doing them. And that means, in other words, that when you go through your life and your career and mom and dad and all those things, you're going to have things to come up that are really going to stress you out. But you have to be able to compartmentalize things. And then that kind of helps you with your balance. You have to excuse me, I have terrible allergies. That's another reason we had to jump on in the house today. But balance just means that you're able to take care of the things that you need to take care of without getting so overwhelmed and so stressed out that it takes you to another level. That's balance.
Another kind of balance is, just balance in your own spirit, just the balance inside of you. Sometimes, like she was saying, you get so overwhelmed that you lose sight of really what's important. That brings me to work balance, work-home balance. I know a lot of people struggle with the whole work-home balance thing. And, it's a catch-22. You have to work hard if you're going to advance and achieve the things you want to achieve in your career. But you also have to work hard at having a successful family and having your family feel the way they need to feel about your presence. Sometimes you can be right there and still not be present. That's still a lack of balance. So when you talk about balancing yourself, first you have to balance your center. Just balance how you're feeling. And that can come with just some deep breathing exercises. Breathing has gotten me through some of the most stressful times in my life. And I know it sounds weird, but we literally stop breathing at times. There are times when I catch myself where I'm just holding my breath. I haven't breathed. And so, there are some really good yoga techniques, deep breathing exercises, and that can bring you back into balance with just your center. Now, when it comes to work balance, sometimes you just can't be available all the time. You cannot be just available 24/7 to your job and those expectations. And I know that it's hard to do for a lot of people, but it's important for you to do because your family needs to know that they are just as important to you as your work is. So that's another level of balance there.
Well, during this during this pandemic, I think we've all really realized that we can multitask more so than we ever thought we could, because you're having to balance work, you're having to work with your children at home that are being not necessarily homeschooled, but they're taking all their classes virtually. And that means that, so you have to be there to tutor when necessary. You have to be able to prepare the meals when necessary, and you have to continue with your regular job task. And a lot of people have really managed that really well, and they really like working from home better than they like going into the office, because the people that can do it, because they're uninterrupted and they get a lot more done a lot of times. But one of the things that I think you have to learn to do is to find time for yourself, and find some place where that's your space. Find some space where you feel at ease, comfortable, and you can just put your mind to rest, even if it's just for 30 minutes. Find your space and take time for yourself. If you don't take time for yourself, then time will take you. So take it from the senior citizen over here who's gone through various things. So just make sure that you take some time to find your space.
And along with that, finding yourself, there's a thing called relationship balance. Sometimes you pour so much into your significant other, into your spouse, into your children, you don't leave any time for you. So you have to not only find balance with your work, you have to find balance in your relationships. If you're in a relationship and you feel like you're the only one, giving, I don't know how balanced that is. Now, people do what works for them, but please take time to consider how to balance your relationship and do it in a manner that honors you to where you don't feel diminished in any way, or you don't feel overwhelmed in any way, because that overwhelming feeling is, it's really something. And I have this thing called Sunday anxiety. On Sundays, I get so anxious because I start thinking about everything that I have to get done for the week. I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do that. And literally on Sunday evenings, I just start to freak out. And that's because I've taken myself so far out of balance, and I brought on all of this Sunday anxiety. And I'm working on not doing that anymore. Hence, I'm sitting up here talking to y'all at about 8 o'clock on a Sunday, when I really probably need to be preparing for my for my tomorrow and for the next week. But it's all just a matter of you. It starts with you and what you're going to allow yourself to commit to your own balance. The other kind of balance is spending balance. I think that's all one that we are all, learning to work on. But, you got to decide if it's worth it or not. You going to drop the big coins, or you just going to nickel and dime yourself to death. But balance carries over into your financial health, into your spending, into all of that.
Also, freedom. We kind of jumping around a little bit, but we started out kind of talking about relationships. And in relationships, you need to have the freedom to be able to express yourself and to have your voice. If you don't have a voice, find your voice, develop your voice, so that you can be a better communicator, so that your children, your spouse, your parents, your friends will know just exactly how you feel. I mean, sometimes you keep things to yourself, and that's good, because I definitely can't voice everything I say, but I definitely do have a voice that I want people to know. So whatever you want people to know, be able to find that voice and just share that with them. And I think you'll feel better, and I think your relationship will be healthier as well. So are we still live?
Yes,
well, I saw something come up on the screen.
So this is all new. This is kind of a little experiment that we're doing, because if you know my mom, she does not do social media at all. But the last one we did was so important and so well received. So we just decided that we would do it again. And it's something that we'll do periodically. And the whole topic of balance came up because, well, guess who was so far out of balance that she just couldn't figure anything out? That was me.
Yeah.
So, But I'm working on it, and it is something that I'm getting better at. But I think when you realize that you're out of balance, that's when you can take the steps to to pull it back together. And it's not going to be the same for everyone. It's different for everybody. Mm-hmm. So I think that we should just recognize it and recognize that being out of balance is a thing, a big thing.
Get organized, because when you are not organized, it really you don't realize it at the time, but it affects you mentally. When you have a lot of clutter and you can't get through things, then you need to just kind of say, okay, let me take a step back. I need to figure out what's going on here, because that's a sign. That is truly a sign. When you got just clutter, that means that your mind is cluttered as well. And that's why you can't get things organized. So just take a day or two, get things organized, figure out where everything goes. Everything has a place. And once everything has a place, then everything falls intact in your mind as well.
And put the stuff back in its place. That's another thing. Once you have organized yourself and taken all this time, and then you move something, and then you don't put it back. And then have a standard for the people in your home to put the things back where they're supposed to go too. Because, it's no fun constantly cleaning up somebody else's mess. Okay, so, but we do it. We kind of, just like we treat people, we teach people how to treat us. People do what you allow them to do. And when it comes to organization, if you're going to stay organized and you don't live by yourself, you're going to need the people in your household to help you stay organized.
Well, one thing too, with all of this balance stuff, body, mind, and soul. You have to take care of your body, you have to take care of your mind, you have to take care of your soul. Now with your body, you have to work on eating properly, exercising, listening to your body so that you will know what kind of remedy needs to be made there. And then with your mind, just kind of, like I said, find some space, get away. I don't mean take a trip, just get away from people around you.
Or take a trip if you can.
Take a trip if you can. I love to travel. But I'm just saying that I'm talking about things that keep you grounded daily. So just find some place where I said, okay, this is my safe haven. This is where I can go, think, talk out loud, not talk out loud, think silently, sing. Can't sing, I can't, but I can blow some notes when nobody's looking. But just find some things that relax you. And with your soul, don't ever forget spirituality. I mean, that's what really has, I think, gotten me through so many different situations, because I have been through a lot of different situations on my job and everywhere else. So you've got to prepare yourself spiritually. Find you some spiritual scriptures that keep you motivated, that will redirect you. So, body, mind, and soul, just remember that. That's not, it sounds kind of cliche, but that's what really keeps you going. Okay, then, I guess, when we're still talking about balance, and then we're still talking about relationships. We're still talking about finances, which I'm going to come back to, because when you start talking about finances, then you need to figure out what you want to be doing when you retire, how you want to handle things. Mm-hmm. Plan ahead, because time gets away from you. It moves fast, very fast. And just because you are of a certain age to retire, look at your finances, look at your expenses. That doesn't mean just because I turned 60 or 65, I'm supposed to go. You can go if you're prepared to go, but if you're not, you need to figure out how to hang on in there for another year or two to get it done. I mean, that's what it amounts to. Sometimes those that have already retired or are so close to retirement, you don't hear me anyway. You don't hear anything I'm saying, but I'm talking to you.
Or if you're me and you want to retire, but you know you probably cannot retire right now, you're close to that, or you just want to do something different. I think poor planning, like we said before, lack of organization, poor planning, those are all things that will throw you out of balance. And if you're going to keep yourself balanced, you're going to have to plan what you want to do. And when I say plan, I'm a pencil and paper kind of person. As you can see, Mom has her pencil and paper here that, you know, she had written down some things that she wanted to make sure that we shared with you guys. But trust me, she shares all this with me on a daily basis. So, and I still don't really have it down. I don't at all, but I'm still working on it. And there are just some things we wanted to share with you. And if there are some questions that maybe, you know, you might have that you think we might can answer. Now, again, we're not experts. We're not pros or anything. It's just that we are best friends. We are mother and daughter. And I can't tell you how much my mom has helped me through so many things. I just can't even begin to say what her advice and her counsel has been. And I know that a lot of people don't have that. They don't still have their mom, or they don't have the relationship where they can talk about literally anything. And so that's why we're here, just to kind of share and let you know that it's possible. And I'm just kind of sharing her with y'all. Plus, this is her introduction to social media, because she don't have no Facebook account. She refuses to get one.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, none of that.
At least she knows the name of them now. Before, she didn't even know what the name of them was. But we're just having a good time and just enjoying spending time with you. And we thank you for spending just a little bit of time with us. And again, feel free to DM me, or, you know, you can put it in your comments or whatever it is. But we just like to spend, this is our relaxation.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, think back again on that body, mind, and soul. And that soul, don't forget the spirituality part of that, because where she thinks I'm so wise and all that stuff, a lot of times she'll call me and she'll tell me what's going on. And I say, okay, let me think on it and I'll get back with you. I go to my prayer closet and I get down there and I talk about it. And so a lot of the advice I give to her is because when I think deeply, I can come up with some really good solutions. And I don't always want just want to just pour things out, because sometimes situations require thought, and I want to make sure that I'm giving good information and good thought. Now, here's the whole thing about all of this: the body, mind, the soul, the relationships, the balance, and all that. It begins with you. It begins with you. So take some notes on your own self there. Well, what do you do daily? What are your stressors? You have to become familiar with you, because that's where the change comes. What are your stressors? What calms you down? What energizes you?
What makes you happy and what makes you unhappy? That's
Yeah.
what I had to really focus on. Like, sometimes I find myself doing things that I don't really want to do. And I'm like, why am I even doing this? You don't even like it. So ask yourself, what do you really like? What makes you happy? What do you really want to do?
And no one really even asks you to do it.
Exactly. Or it could be something that people ask you to do all the time. You don't enjoy it, but you never shared that you didn't enjoy it, that you don't want to like it. Take time to ask yourself those kinds of things. And that again goes back to that me time. Well, why am I really doing this? You know, like, what is the point of it? Is it fun? If it's not fun, is it lucrative? If it don't make you any money, you know, what exactly do you get out of it? And only you can answer that, because that's different for everybody. You know, some people like things that I could never fathom, you know, why they like it, but they do. But I think it's really important for you to get in touch with your own likes and dislikes, and, you know, what's important to you, what's not so important to you. And I think during the pandemic, that's changed for all of us. I think the bar has changed. We literally have learned to just appreciate the small things, or you've learned to go for the big things. Whatever it is, manifestation is real. You know, it may not happen overnight, but plan what you want and manifest what it is that you want out of your life.
And as you go through your, when you do an audit of your relationships, be honest and find out the ones that are toxic. And if they're toxic, then I mean, it could be sometimes really good friends are toxic because they bring so much to you. You are just a dumping ground. And I'm not saying don't continue to visit and thrive with those people, but there are days when you don't need that. There are days when you need your space and they need their space, even though they don't realize it. You need distance. So just be mindful that toxic relationships are everywhere.
And don't act like toxic ain't fun, because it is, okay? But sometimes you need to distinguish, okay, you know, everything that's fun for you is not necessarily good for you. But you would be surprised at what ends up being toxic in your life. And how easy it is for you just to let it go once you realize that it is actually toxic and what it's doing to you. Because I think we let so much get into ourselves, and it's about energy. And I just learned during the pandemic to focus more on energy. What kind of energy is a person bringing to a situation? What kind of energy are you bringing to a situation? And I used to have this thing where, you know, you can get it however you want it, you know, would match energy. But don't match anybody's energy, because if their energy is negative, they're stealing yours. You keep your energy and you keep your energy positive, and theirs is what it is. So don't think about you got to match them. No, you don't, because if their energy is negative and toxic, you don't want to be negative and toxic. So you don't need to match their energy. You just need to maintain your own energy and make sure that it's positive. And again, just breathe through it. Sometimes before you say something, just breathe before you say it. Because, you know, a lot of times you can't take it back. And yeah, we won't really get into that. But let's just know that all of us have said some things that we probably shouldn't have said, and we shouldn't have said them the way that we said it. But we were in that space of matching energy rather than maintaining our own energy.
And finding your center. Sonia mentioned that earlier. But that's really a very not only necessary, but worthwhile too to have, is to find your center. And then maybe do breathing exercises. And if you are a student of yoga, it's wonderful. I mean, it's helped me with everything in my body, my back, my knees, my legs.
She started me with
everything.
yoga. I thought yoga. I don't know anything about yoga, but then I'm thinking, okay, if my 72-year-old mother can do yoga, okay, I can get into yoga. So give it a try. Give the breathing a try. And YouTube literally has everything on it. Everything is on YouTube. So don't feel like you got to go to a yoga class and feel self-conscious the first time you go. Try it in your own living room. You know, just try it.
You will definitely benefit from it. I can tell you, it's not necessarily all that easy, but the more you do it, the easier it gets, and the better you feel. So remember, mind, body, and soul.
And I think that's where we're going to end this live. But thanks for sharing this time with us. We had a great time, and like I said, this is just something we're just learning to do, just to share our energy. Yes. So you guys have a great night. And have a great week, and don't be like me and have that Sunday anxiety. Y'all stay blessed.
All right, bye-bye.